Narrated Anas bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, facilitate things to people concerning religious matters, and do not make it hard for them, and give them good tidings, and do not make them run away from Islam. Narrated Abu Wali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Abdullah used to give a religious talk to the people on every Thursday. Once a man said, O Abu Abdurrahman, by Allah, wish if you could preach us daily. He replied, the only thing which prevents me from doing so is that I hate to bore you. And no doubt I take care of you in preaching by selecting a suitable time, just as the Prophet ﷺ used to do with us, for fear of making us bored. Narrated Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, I heard Allah Apostle ﷺ saying, if Allah wants to do good to a person, He makes him comprehend the religion. I am just a distributor, but the grant is from Allah. And remember that this nation, true Muslims, will keep on following Allah's teaching strictly, and they will not be harmed by anyone going on a different path till Allah's order is established. Narrated Ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and fresh dates of a palm tree were brought to him. On that he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, amongst the tree there is a tree which resembles a Muslim. I wanted to say that it was the date palm tree, but as I was the youngest of all of them, I keep quiet. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is the date palm tree. Narrated Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet ﷺ said, do not wish to be like anyone except in two cases. The first is a person whom Allah has given wealth and he spent it righteously. The second is the one whom Allah has given wisdom, the Holy Qur'an, and he acts according to it and teaches it to others. Narrated Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that he differed with Hur bin Qas bin Hans al-Fazari regarding the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, Moses. Ibn Abbas said that he was al-Khidr. Meanwhile, Abi bin Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu called him, saying, my friend Hur and I have differed regarding Moses' companion, whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you heard the Prophet ﷺ mentioning something about him? He said, yes. I heard Allah Apostle ﷺ saying, while Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, do you know anyone who is more learned than you? Moses replied, no. So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses. Yes, our slave Khidr is more learned than you. Moses asked Allah how to meet him, Khidr alayhi salam. So Allah made the fish as a sign for him. And he was told that when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it. And there he would meet him, al-Khidr. So Moses went on looking for the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of Moses said to him, do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Satan made me forget to remember it. On that Moses said, that is what we have been seeking. So they went back, tracking their footsteps, and found Khidr alayhi salam. And what happened further to them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah. Narrated Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, Once the Prophet ﷺ embraced me and said, O Allah, bestow on him the knowledge of the book, Qur'an. Narrated Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, once I came riding a she-ass and has just attained the age of puberty. Allah Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam was offering the prayer at Mina. There was no wall in front of him, and I paused in front of some of the rows while they were offering their prayers. There I let the she-ass loose to graze and entered the row, and nobody objected to it. Narrated Mahmud bin Rabia radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, when I was a boy of 5, I remember the Prophet ﷺ took water from a bucket used for getting water out of a well with his mouth and threw it on my face. Narrated Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that he differed with Harb bin Qas bin Hans al-Fazari radiallahu ta'ala anhu regarding the companion of the Prophet Moses. Meanwhile, Abi Ka'b passed by them, and Ibn Abbas called him, saying, My friend Hur and I differed regarding Moses, companion whom Moses asked the way to meet. Have you ever heard Prophet ﷺ mentioning something about him? Abi bin Ka'b said, Yes, I heard the Prophet ﷺ mentioning something about him, saying, while Moses was sitting in the company of some Israelites, a man came and asked him, Do you know anyone who is more learned than you? Moses replied, No. So Allah sent the divine inspiration to Moses, Yes, our slave Khidr is more learned than you. Moses asked Allah how to meet him, Al-Khidr. So Allah made the fish a sign for him, and he was told when the fish was lost, he should return to the place where he had lost it, and there he would meet him, Al-Khidr. So the Moses went looking the sign of the fish in the sea. The servant boy of Moses said, Do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the fish. None but Satan made me forget to remember it. On that Moses said, That is what we have been seeking. So they went back to retracking their footsteps and found Khidr. And what happened further about them is narrated in the Holy Quran by Allah.